Chardonnay. Only 8% of the wine found in this region is Calicote. So it's the origin of Chardonnay. And the producers of wine. So it is very different. Wine Barz Volume 1, Full of Love, is a book and soundtrack. So it's a 5-song EP completely produced by the Heatmakers, where I reference wine references on every single song. But not everybody that likes hip hop understands wine. So on every wine reference I make on the album, I wrote a book to break down and help people understand every single wine reference. So you get the soundtrack as well as the book. The music will not be available on any streaming platforms. It's only available through QR code in the book. And on every song I reference wine, and it comes with the book, so you can actually look up each song and look at every single wine reference that I mentioned in the book, so you learn about wine while enjoying hip hop at the same time.
All right. Who's it for?
It's for everyone. You know, I'm someone that is, half of my heart is hip hop, half of my heart is wine. So I wanted to do something that would help the hip hop world understand wine, and I also wanted the wine industry to understand hip hop. So it's a first class education in both. So often when people listen to hip hop is such a storytelling art. There's a narrative behind it. And people learn about brands, people learn about history, all kinds of things when they listen to hip hop. And so often there's nothing that complements it so you can actually understand what you're listening to. So I wrote this book so that when people enjoy the music and they develop that emotional connection with the music, they'll hear these random things that they might not understand. You can look it up in the book and you can now develop that emotional connection to wine.
So,
yes. It's an extremely deep and personal project. I stopped rapping 20 years ago when I started in the wine business, and I had no intention in rapping again. I never wanted to rap professionally. I kept rapping for fun all throughout my wine career. And last year when I was shooting Street Sound, they asked me to rap on the show, and it kind of sparked something, it opened something up. It allowed me to free myself and break that barrier. I always felt that the raps that I was writing were very personal, and people wouldn't understand it unless they understood me. But last year I was nominated for an Emmy, I was nominated for a James Beard Award, and more people got to know me, so I felt like it was time for me to unleash that part of me. And so on this show, I rapped for the first time publicly, and I felt like there was so much more good music that I could release to people and let them understand who I was. So the project tells a lot about my story. I've been interviewed so much over the last 10 years, and there's a lot of holes in my story that people don't know. And the music allows me to fill those holes in and let people really get to know me. So, but at the same time, it celebrates wine, and people that are really into hip hop, they'll understand wine better based on the metaphors that I'm using, and then also break it down in the book.
yeah. It's volume 1.
This is just volume 1. There's a volume 1. Interestingly enough, I already have volume 2 recorded, and so what I'm doing now is this year, as my 20th year in wine, has been all about bringing wine and hip hop closer together, creating new iterations of bringing wine and hip hop together. So I'm going to be doing things where I'm releasing music, but not for major streaming platforms, purely for this community that we're building. And it's you scan a QR code, that's the only way to get the music. Through purchasing the book, down the line, you'll be able to purchase other things that are connected with wine, and that'll give you exclusive access to this music that brings us these cultures. I'm excited about it, man. I mean, the thing is, I'm just like, no one's ever been to events like this. So the kinds of raps that I have that talk about wine and hip hop, people have referenced wine in hip hop. People have talked about champagne and talked about things, but they've never seen anything like this.
I'm from the Bronx, New York. You know what I'm saying? Y'all can give it up for that. I'm from the Bronx, New York. And the thing is, like, I'm a product of hip hop. You know, before I got in the wine business, I was rapping. But before wine, I was all hip hop. I was rapping. I was that kid in the hallways. I was that kid in the projects, rapping, doing my thing. And before I got into the wine business, I was all hip hop. I assumed I was gonna be a rapper. And a lot of the rap stuff didn't work the way I wanted it to work. I got in the wine business. I enjoyed myself. I met amazing people, and it kept me. But right now, on October 15th, I got a book, Barz Volume 1 for the Love, that's going to be releasing. So y'all can go to wineandhiphop.com right now. Y'all can go pre-order. You can register, do your thing. But it's a book as well as soundtrack. The music will not be available on streaming platforms. It's only available through the books. Records that was inspired by my travels to Burgundy. I'm actually shouting out specific areas in Burgundy on this record. And I'm going to be breaking it down in the book. So my brother, thank you for holding me down. Can I get in this shit? Let's go. Y'all ride with me. Been around the world, been doing shadow moon, still pulled up the vision.